Well, since the mainstream media won't tell you and other business channels have been loath to discuss the Donald Trump rally or economy other than to occasionally call it a bump, and then, of course, when it's going down to say, hey, the Trump economy is crashing, I'm going to show you the real deal, what's happening right now. The economy is rocking because the post-election enthusiasm, what they call soft data, is really turning into reality, and it's not a flash in the pan. Yesterday, the Atlanta Fed lifted its outlook for the current quarter, a rate of growth of 4.1%. This after strong data on housing and factory use along with production. I actually combed through those numbers last night, and two things leaped out at me. The capacity in iron and steel and oil and gas improved sharply. You got to remember, these are industries that have very high-paying jobs, and they require big capital investments to expand. They are the real building blocks of our economy. It should also be noted that these industries were in free fall going into the election. Now, last Friday, retail sales showed a shift back to people eating at restaurants rather than just buying groceries. For me, it was another sign of confidence in the economy and potential wage gains. And you know what? The news was corroborated today. Last night, earnings from Red Robin, which makes gourmet burgers, and Jack in the Box sent both of those stocks significantly higher today. And even the demise of retail, to a degree, is exaggerated. After the bell, LB Brands posted their earnings, came in much better than expected, and they were confident enough to guide higher for the whole year. That stock is up as much as 6% in the after-hours trading. So from housing to wages to corporate profits and investment, there are remarkable things that are happening to this economy, and nobody will talk about it. I will, and I think Liz Peek will. She joins me now. Liz, listen, the work I did, for instance, with industrial production and capacity utilization, it sounds boring. No one wants to do it, but you comb through those numbers and you start to compare where we were a year ago, a few years ago. And it's hopeful because this is not things that are done on a whim. You don't build an iron ore factory on a whim.
It all has to do with confidence. And we saw those confidence indicators not only from individuals, but small businesses and CEOs of big businesses start to rise immediately after the election, based on the premise that Trump was going to undo a lot of the regulation that Obama had slapped on industry during his 8 years, and also on the premise that we were going to see tax reform that was going to be helpful to investors and to small business owners and to big business. So where are we now? As you say, that's translated into real activity. We have seen a jump in industrial production. It's accelerating. It's not just that it's up, it's accelerating. And by the way, where does that go next? It goes to real wages accelerating on a rising rate of increase. So that's where you get these better restaurant numbers. That's where you get a lot of really hard data that's led to earnings being up almost 14% in the first quarter. We're going to have a very, very good second quarter earnings number. It's very exciting.
These are blue-collar jobs, by the way. I mean, maybe this is why they're not sexy to the mainstream media, because these are manufacturing jobs, construction jobs, mining jobs, coal miners. You know, there's some coal mines on the metallurgical side that are paying bonuses now. That was unheard of a couple of months ago. $1,000 bonuses. People are already saying they're getting pay increases, and yet we don't hear it. I mean, am I being too sensitive to think that this is the mainstream media just not wanting to share this kind of news, or do they not know about it?
Well, look, the media hates Donald Trump, and so anything that you can possibly say is good news because of Donald Trump, they're going to probably not be very keen to share. And after all, look at the reaction to this market. Everyone's piling on. This is all about Donald Trump's problems bringing the market down. How many of those people have talked about the fact it's up over 13% since the election because of Donald Trump?
Dow 20,000.
You can't have it both ways,
Dow
right?
20,000, crickets, crickets. Liz Peek, you know what's great about you? You're honest, and when you think there's something wrong, you say it. When you think there's something great, you say it. That's why you're one of the best in the business. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Well,